What is going on, my Masketeers? Welcome back to another episode, and we are here to talk about House of the Dragon episode 5. And boy, oh boy, do we have an episode. Do we have an episode? Let me not even waste anybody's time right off the bat. To me, this is the best episode thus far. For the midpoint, this here has set up everything, and this is the reason why we love Game of Thrones, because here we now see the players, we've now been given motives, and more importantly, we are now seeing people start to realize that it's a game. So you're playing the game whether you like it or not. And the quicker you're able to realize this, it will allow you to navigate so much easier. So the quick synopsis of the episode is Viserys and Rhaenyra go to House Valerion because they are going to wed Rhaenyra to their son Lenor, or Lenore, I'm just going to call him Lenor, and unite their houses. Something Viserys should have done when he was advised to marry their daughter. Now, granted, she was like a 10-year-old and he wasn't really with the whole pedophilia thing. So, he decided, thank you very much. But what I will do is I'm going to go marry for love. And he decided to pick Otto's daughter, Alicent. Now, if you know anything about Game of Thrones, you never marry for love. Never marry for love. You do the duty. Whenever you do something based on your own self-interest, you're done. You're dead. You're finished. Ask Ned Stark. Ask Robb Stark. Anytime these people decide to go with their conscience and to be moral, that's when you get kill off. Now, in King's Landing, Otto's leaving and he's having one final conversation with his daughter Alicent. And he tells Alicent, listen, you chose wrong, but you need to get smart because you're actually quite intelligent, but you keep on making bad choices. When the king dies, and this nigga gonna die. It might not happen today, it might not happen next month, it might happen in 10 years. But the one thing Otto said is he ain't gonna make it to be an old man. He said for a fact, he might have 10 years in him. That's if we're lucky. But this man's gonna die. And when that happens, the realm will split in two. There will be a civil war because they will not accept Rhaenyra as queen. They won't accept a woman, especially while Aegon is alive. And in order for her to keep her claim, she will put your children to the sword. So you need to wisen up and you need to ready Aegon to be the next king. Do not make the same mistake twice because you're only going to have one of two choices. It's either you're going to do what needs to be done and secure Aegon's rule, or you are literally going to have to depend on the mercy of Rhaenyra. And boy, she ain't going to give you that. I'll tell you that much. So that conversation happens, and then she has another conversation with this slimy little boss. We saw him in the previous episode. He's basically the son of the current hand of the king. And let me just say, the current hand of the king is actually a cool guy. He gives sound advice and he literally believes in the realm. His son, on the other hand, he a piece of shit. He 100% a piece of shit. I can't remember his name, but I just know that their surname or their house's name is called Strong. It's ironic because he is not strong at all. Physically, he is weak. He is disabled. So he walks around like with the crutches. But the real reason why he needs them crutches is because he's not even meant to be on his legs, because he's a snake. He's supposed to be slithering around in his belly, but that's what he is. He has a conversation with Alicent and he essentially lets it slip that the Grand Maester brought a special tea to Rhaenyra's room on the command of the king. He doesn't say what the tea is, and he kind of poses it as he thought that Rhaenyra was sick and he's glad that she's doing better now. And Alicent is looking at him thinking to herself, what do you mean better? And he explains the tea, and she then begins to connect the dots like, oh, that must be abortion tea essentially. And he has like a little smirk on his face, and then he just slivers off like a freaking slivering, that bastard. So I don't know what his plan is. I don't know like what his ambitions are. He might want to be the next hand. So he could be trying to get in favor with Alicent now, and then, I don't know, maybe kill off his dad and then become the hand. Who knows? Who knows? He's out here scheming. Now, we go back to Rhaenyra and Laenor, and they're on the beach and they're talking. Essentially, they're having a conversation about their duties and how they should come to an understanding. When they were talking about it, Rhaenyra was basically mentioning something about appetite and how she doesn't like goose, she prefers duck because goose is just too fatty. And this whole time I'm thinking, what the hell are we talking about in terms of appetite? Then it hit me, oh, wait a minute, is this guy gay? Laenor is basically saying that, yes, everyone has different appetites, but you still have to try, which makes Rhaenyra respond by saying, let's basically make an understanding. We marry for the realm, for our duty, but we also give each other space so that we can essentially appease our appetites. And he's like, I'm cool with that. We go to his mum, Rhaenys, and Corliss, and they're having a conversation. And literally in that same conversation, yeah, Leno is gay. Because as they're talking, the mum says, you know his nature. And the dad's like, no, it's a phase, he gonna grow out of it. And the mum's looking at him like, Negro, please. You know our son. It ain't no phase. That's what he likes, men. He like booty, but not women booty, man booty. She's afraid that, again, should Rhaenyra take the throne, there will be a civil war. Now, Corlys is like, listen, we're going to get that throne that was meant to be yours. We're going to get it back, and our grandchild will sit on that throne. And so everything will be rectified. She doesn't want it, and she's telling him that she's let that go, and they shouldn't be put in a position where they are putting their family in danger. So that happens, and then we now go to the wedding. It's not really a wedding. It's meant to be essentially a 7-day event. So you've first got the banquet. There's going to be 7 days of jousting, 7 days of food, drink, wine, and on the 7th day, the wedding will take place. So in this gathering, let me just say, this gathering was wild. I've never seen a banquet so tense since the Red Wedding. And even the Red Wedding just went left out of nowhere. There was like no build up to it. It was all good vibes, good vibes, good vibes, and then boom, you see the chainmail, and then the daggers come out, and then it goes left. Whereas here, you know something bad is going to happen. There's a build up because different pieces keep on entering the room, and as that happens, more conversations are being had, more things are taking place. And let me just say this, Alison, this girl's moving defiant right now because she does a couple of things in that same banquet, which is essentially like a declaration of war, but very subtle declaration. And then we have my guy Daemon. Daemon came on demon time yet again. And let me just say this, yeah, the Targaryens, they are drippy. I don't know who their tailor is. I don't know where they get the dye from. The Targaryen dynasty, they never lack when it comes to the drip. The drip is eternal. Every damn time, smashing it with the outfits. And Daemon's new outfit is just another collectible. Daemon comes, Daemon does what he does best, starts trouble. He has a conversation with Rhaenyra, talking about, you shouldn't marry Laenor, he's boring, he's not enough to satisfy you. And then in the midst of that, a fight breaks out. And during this fight, you don't know who started it, you don't know who's even fighting, but everybody's just getting hit left and right. Even when Rhaenyra gets barred, I'm thinking, wait a minute, this is the princess, aka the future queen. How are you just manhandling her like this? Where's the guards? What's going on? But in the middle of the commotion, it is none other than Kristen, and what happens was wild. Very, very wild. Very, very wild. I won't ruin it for you. I want you guys to watch it and then, you know, sound off in them comments. But it was crazy. The ending in and of itself, again, just mad. The way the pieces have now been set in place, a lot will take place in the next 4 episodes. So because of that, I'm not even going to do like a good, because I've given you all the good in this explanation. I'm just going to give you the bad. Now, the bad for me isn't actually a bad on the episode. My bad is the fact that this is the last time we're going to see the 2 actresses who play Rhaenyra and Alicent, because from the next episode onwards, they are being changed for their adult version. And for me, I'm sad by that because I've really come to like the actresses who play the characters, and I think they capture them so well that it's going to be now weird to have next episode being 2 different people playing them. And I know they're meant to be older, but for me, I would have preferred if they had done it similar to what they did in The Crown, where for The Crown, they say for the first 2 seasons, we have the same cast, and then we change them for the older actors and actresses because the characters are getting older. I felt they should have done the same thing in House of the Dragon. Not do 2 seasons, but do 1 season of just the current actresses, and then in season 2, change them for the older versions. That's just me. That's like my only bad, should I say. And I'm sad that my time with these 2 amazing actresses is over. I hope the ones who come next can still capture some of like the energy and the feel that we have right now. And I get it. Because they're older, their personalities might be a bit different. But I don't know. I just feel it's a bit weird. But we'll see in the coming episode. So, with that being said, my verdict. This, if I could give it a 10, I would. But nothing is perfect. So this is a 9, a strong 9, a 9.5 if you will, but a strong 9 out of 10 for me. I think everything in this episode was just amazing. I think the way they handled everything and the pieces that set in place for what comes next, I'm fully involved. Fully involved. Guys, please let me know your opinions and let me get your thoughts in the comment section. What did you think of the episode and what do you expect to happen next? Like always, please like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you at the next masquerade. Peace.